Tii Item 499, September 15th, 2020, Apple's September 2020 event. In this episode, we talk about iOS and iPadOS 14 betas and 13.7 not beta, spatial audio, the big Apple September 2020 event, plus listener feedback and more, all covered in depth starting after the intro.
Welcome to Today in iPhone.
I like it a lot.
Today in iPhone.
Hey, caller!
Oh yeah!
My beautiful iPhone, which I never have out of my hand and that I do everything with and has become an extension of who I am.
Today's episode is brought to you by Eero. Go to eero.com/TII and enter promo code TII at checkout to get free overnight shipping with your order. Welcome to the show. I'm your host, Rob, and you are listening to the Today in iOS podcast. First up, I want to thank Jeff for sending the music you hear in the background. Jeff wrote, "Hi Rob, I made this song called Compare to You with my iPhone using Garageband App. For free downloads and more music, follow me at JeffJ6 on Twitter. Regards, Jeff J." Well, thanks, Jeff, for the music. And folks, I will put the full song at the end of the episode. Also want to thank Josh for sending in the artwork for today's show. Josh wrote the following. "Hi Rob, here is some artwork for a future episode. I created this using Xcode, the app for making iOS and Mac apps. The screenshot comes from a homework app I did for Stanford's Coding Together iTunes U class on iOS app development. Regards, Josh Adams, Berkeley, California." Well, thanks, Josh, for sending this in. And folks, you can see the artwork in the free TI app via the bonus button for episode 499 or at Instagram.com/todayinios and also Facebook.com/todayinios. And folks, if you have some artwork and or music you have created on your iOS device that you would like to share with the audience, please email it to me at todayinios@gmail.com. Please make sure to include which app or apps you use to create said artwork and or music. This is one of those episodes where I record it in two parts. The first part was recorded on Monday night, September 14th, and then the last part I will record right after the Apple event on the 15th. So keep that in mind on any news, rumors, speculation that might change with the announcements. To start, let's go over some news since the last episode, and specifically iOS 14 betas and beta 7 to start us off. And you know, you're getting close to Goldmaster when one of the key additions to a beta is new wallpapers. In this case, dark mode options for the rainbow stripe backgrounds. There is also slightly changed app library categories. Options now include social, utilities, productivity and finance, information and reading, creativity, other, health and fitness, shopping and food, entertainment, travel, games, arcade, and education. Yes, exciting changes. And there were also bug fixes for the app podcast banner that in beta 6 caused incorrect text to be displayed. Now the text is correct. So yes, bug fixes and optimizations are the biggest part of beta 7. And Apple is now in the update once a week mode on the betas. And about a week after beta 7 was released, we were treated to beta 8. Beta 8 has some very small formatting type changes, but overall most are reporting that it is very, very stable, and that is what I'm seeing. This is a big change from the past couple of years that had the last couple of versions still very, very buggy. General belief is that iOS 14 Goldmaster is likely going to be released later this week to devs, and then iOS 14 Goldmaster for everyone else will be released the week of the 28th. Could be a week earlier, could be a week later, but let's say the 28th, give or take a week. Again, with iOS 14 Goldmaster going out this week to the devs. Overall, we're in a good place compared to where we've been in the past years. Apple on the 14th also released new firmware for Airpods Pro and also the Airpods. On the Airpods Pro specifically, they enable new features in iOS 14, including spatial audio and automatic device switching. For those that don't remember spatial audio, according to Apple, quote, "Spatial audio with dynamic head tracking brings the movie theater experience right to your Airpods Pro 11 by applying directional audio filters and subtly adjusting the frequencies each ear receives, spatial audio can place sounds virtually anywhere in space, creating an immersive surround sound experience using the gyroscope and accelerometer in your Airpods Pro and your iPhone. Spatial audio tracks the motion of your head as well as your device, compares the motion data, and then remaps the sound field so that it stays anchored to your device even as your head moves, unquote. In other words, it's magic for your ears. This update, along with automatic switching, does require iOS 14 or iPadOS 14 or watchOS 7 or tvOS 14 or macOS 11 to work. So things are starting to line up for a launch in very short order for iOS and iPadOS 14, along with watchOS 7 and tvOS 14. Again, expect that sooner rather than later. Last week, the week of Labor Day, I was a guest all week on Ken Ray's In a Few Minutes. Those are the episodes from September 7th to the 11th. We talked about iOS and privacy and specifically about Overcast, and then more important about iOS 14 privacy, plus the Apple v. Epic Games lawsuit, or as I call them, Karen Games. We talked about iOS 14 overall, and finally, on the 11th, we played a game, and Ken asked a few questions, including what was my worst job? And trust me, folks, my worst job was worse than your worst job. You have to listen to find out. After you are done with this episode, that is, head on over to In a Few Minutes with Ken Ray, find my episodes from September 7th to the 11th, and check out all the episodes that week. Thanks, Ken, for having me on the show. Okay, as you know, I always recommend you wait a few weeks before you upgrade to iOS 14 Goldmaster. The last few years, I have said wait until iOS update, until the .1 update became available before updating. This time, I would say wait until iOS 14.0.1 before updating and giving it a week after iOS 14.0.1 is released before you do your update. That recommendation might be pushed out depending on how the update launch process goes. And into the email bag we head. Hi Rob, does iOS 13.7 do anything of significance other than add COVID tracking? Is it okay to release the hounds, cry havoc, and release the dogs of war? Thanks, friend, with much appreciation for what you do. Dave, P.S. Whatever respect I had for you before has increased tenfold after hearing that your move was prompted by wanting the best for your son. Hope all is well in your new town. Well, thanks, Dave, for the kind words, and we're getting there. We found a house. And while many of you are waiting for iOS 14 to be safe, some, like Dave, want to know about updating to iOS 13.7 now that it is released. And yes, Dave, and all that are listening, release the hounds on iOS 13.7. And yes, the key new feature is COVID-19 exposure notifications or tracking. And if you are in a state that supports that, yes, definitely update and turn it on. My goddaughter, just back in college 1 week, tested positive for COVID-19. Folks, it is still crazy out there. Per the states where they are using COVID-19 contact tracing, they are Alabama, Arizona, Nevada, North Dakota, Virginia, and Wyoming. Pennsylvania and South Carolina also said they would participate, but do not appear to be doing so yet. Beyond that, there is the normal bug fixes and optimizations for iOS 13.7. And yes, if you are holding off upgrading to iOS 14 until 14.0.1 like you really should, go ahead and update to 13.7 now. Today's advertiser is longtime sponsor Eero. We found a new home. Looks like we're going to close around October 21st. And when I was walking around the house, I was thinking, oh, here's a good place for an Eero beacon. And oh, here's another good place for an Eero beacon. I plan on having a recording room for the show, and this time I am putting the thermostats all on Wi-Fi so I can turn it off right from my studio. I plan on getting new higher def Ring doorbell and another camera near the garage. All of this will rely on my Eero mesh network. I know it will be up for the challenge. Then there will be the Apple TVs in the bedrooms and the family room in the basement, With Eero, I will have the house covered end-to-end, top to bottom with strong, reliable Wi-Fi. Eero, an Amazon company, blankets your whole house in fast, reliable Wi-Fi, eliminating poor coverage, dead spots, and buffering. You'll have a consistently strong signal wherever you need it. And it just takes a few minutes to set up Eero. It plugs right into your router, and you manage it from a dead simple app. And the app lets you pause the Wi-Fi for dinner and lets you get alerts if any devices attempt to join your network. Eero is the best Wi-Fi I've ever tested. It solved the issues at my rental townhome when we moved in, and we no longer have any spotty coverage. It's nice here, and soon it'll be even nicer at our own house. And for a limited time, you can get up to 20% off select Eero models. We're asking a lot of our Wi-Fi these days. Eero can help yours do a lot more. Go to eero.com/TII and enter code TII at checkout to get free next day shipping with your order. That's eero.com/TII, promo code TII at checkout to get your Eero delivered with free next day shipping. Again, that is eero.com/TII, promo code TII. Thanks, Eero, for supporting the show.
Hey, Rob and Shannon in Arizona. How you doing? Hey, I got an issue with my girlfriend's brand spanking new iPhone 11 Pro Max. It's just like mine, running 13.5.1 software, 256 gig hard drive. Not that should matter. When I go to plug it into my MacBook, it comes up with the little icons that you have to click, trust. All of that's normal since it had never been plugged into my MacBook before. Then it comes up with the licensing agreement that you have to read and accept and then hit the continue button. Well, the first thing that struck me is that it is the iPod licensing agreement, which seems weird. But anyway, I click on the little button that says I've read and I agree, and then when I click continue, it just completely disappears out of my Finder window, to the point where the only way I can get it back is to unplug the phone and then plug it back in. And then once you do that, then it pops back up in the Finder, but now we're kind of in this endless loop where as soon as you click continue, it disappears again. I unplugged it. I plugged my iPhone in that has been plugged into the MacBook before, and it works perfectly. Pulls up so I can add songs to it, drag songs over onto it, and the songs show up in my phone immediately. Try to do it with hers, and again, right back to the same story. I was on hold with Apple for 2 hours the day before yesterday, and finally the lady answered, and then it disconnected me. And I went to call back and they were closed. It was really frustrating. I didn't expect Apple to be that way, especially since the first lady told me I needed to do it through iTunes, which I thought was odd because you haven't been able to do it that way forever. But I was hoping maybe you could put this out and some smart listener out there can help me out. I hope that clarifies everything. Yeah, thanks everything. Hope the move is going well or went well. And other than that, I'll look forward to the answer. Thanks, Rob. Take care, buddy. Bye.
Shannon, thanks as always for calling in. Folks, if you can help Shannon, please do so by giving us a call, 206-666-6364. That's 206-MOON-DOG. Or record it on your iOS device and email to me at todayandios@gmail.com. And into the email bag we shall go. Hi, Rob. I have a terrible time of accidentally dialing contacts. The phone immediately calls when you touch a name. Is there a setting to delay immediate call, or is this something that Apple could conceivably incorporate into iOS? Keep up the great show. Thanks for what you do. Regards, Rick in Evansville, Wyoming. Hi, Rick. Short answer, no and not likely. I do not know of any such feature, and it is not very likely Apple will add a feature to make it harder to make a call. That said, there might be one of the accessibility settings that could help. If anyone knows of an accessibility setting that could help Rick from accidentally calling people by delaying a tap, let us know. But if that is available, it would likely slow down other actions as well. Back to the email bag. Hi, Rob. My wife and I each have an iPhone and an iPad. We have separate Apple IDs, which works fine. But is there a way to share all the photos we each take, having to select photos and then upload to shared photo album is inconvenient, and inevitably we miss seeing photos the others took. I have been listening to your excellent podcast for over 10 years. Thanks for everything you do. Regards, Brian. Hi, Brian. I believe you can do this with the family share option and iCloud storage. That said, I do it currently with Google Photos. So you can do it with a third-party app. You set up with an email that is not part of your Apple ID. If anyone has any good suggestions for Brian per setting up this with Apple Family Share, please call in, or better yet, record it on your iPhone and email to the show at todayinios@gmail.com.
Hello, Rob. Justin from Pennsylvania. I'm calling as I guess it'll be my third update or second update about the OSnap grip that I had reviewed, I think almost 2 weeks ago now. I had a unit that broke about a week of use, and I did call an update about that happening. I wanted to say, to the credit of the company, they had sent me a replacement grip already. So it took about 4 or 5 days after I reported it. Well, 2 days and it was shipped, and it took about less than a week for me to get my new grip. I have to say, I'm not sure if there's something wrong with my other grip. This one actually seems sturdier. I don't know if there was maybe just a crazy defective of the unit, but I have a feeling there's a systemic problem with this product, hence why they're already making a different version of the grip, which actually looks really cool, that I've already backed on Kickstarter. I think I've mentioned it before. And that one, they're having what they call a lifetime guarantee on it. They're pretty sure about this one. As cool as this product is, I think you need to know what you're getting into with it. I'm going to use it and see how long it works. If it breaks on me again, and especially if it breaks on me in a very short amount of time, I will re-update. But having it back, I'm very happy. I like it so much better than my loopy case. I love the magnets built into it. Having a magnet built into a grip or a phone case has always been a feature I love, and I really missed it in the week that I didn't have it. I just want to say, I feel like this is a complicated review, something that I think the company itself knows that this design is a little complicated, but that's kind of what I loved about it too. I love all the things it does. I love that they even advertise it that it could cut open boxes and stuff. But I have to be honest with you, I won't be using this as a box opener anymore. I just don't think it's sturdy enough for that, even though the guy that founded the company claims that's something that he uses his for. I think that's actually what started breaking down my OSnap when I used it as a box cutter once. So I won't be doing that again. So far, so good. I love the snap band that really lets you get a good control of your phone. I love the magnet that you can stick it on my fridge or something, and it's just a really great product, other than it did break so soon. But the company backs up their product, and for a small Kickstarter company to do that, I do think they deserve credit for that they backed up this product so easily, and it was all online, and I didn't have to pay anything up front. They just sent it back to me. So there is something really nice about that they stood behind their product and didn't give me a hard time about a replacement. So I'll give them credit for that. Like I said, this is probably hopefully this is the last time I call about this particular grip. I'm actually really looking forward to their new grip. I recommend anyone look at OSnap on Kickstarter if it's something you're interested in. I always have a hard time keeping my hand on my phone, and this being able to flip your phone around and stick it to your fridge is really cool. It even comes with these steel plates that you can also stick it in your shower or wherever you want. I mean, I don't know if you want it in the shower, but it's a place they recommend. So I guess that's it for now. Rob, I really appreciate your show. I look forward to your next episode. Thank you very much. Have a great day. Bye.
Hello, Rob. This is Kevin in Kansas City. I've talked to you a couple times before. I am a cell phone repair technician, and I'm calling today about your listener, Laurel. And I would love to help you help these listeners that have questions in regards to third-party repair. There are certain reasons to use Apple repair services, but there are many other reasons why you should use a qualified third-party repair service, regardless of what Apple tells you or regardless of what the carrier tells you. In regards to specifically Laura, that back glass repair runs around $150 to $180. The problem with the SIM card could just be a simple micro soldering job, which would probably be $50 to $70. And the phones are currently reselling on Swappa for a little over $400. So that would still leave her some space to make a little bit of money. not much, but make a little bit. There's other options I can provide her too. I think right to repair is very important for your listeners and your fans. Thanks.
Back to the email bag we go. Hi, Rob. Here's one for your listeners and you if it fits in your podcast. Remember sometime in early 2000s when Pepsi and Apple partnered providing free redemption codes for 99-cent songs on iTunes? That was the year that I first got iTunes on my PC. I loaded a crap ton of my own CDs into iTunes as well. Fast forward to sometime in 2010, 2011. That was my first smartphone and my iPhone 4. Around the same time, iTunes Match was introduced, allowing me to stream my loaded CDs to my phone. I've been paying $25 a year since then to maintain. Well, these days I tend to use Spotify. I rarely use Apple Music app, and then only for music that I own. I don't subscribe to Apple Music because I subscribe to Spotify. I use my iPhone for about 95% of my computer type needs, and my iPad 4%, and my MacBook Air for the remainder. And iTunes doesn't even exist as it once did anymore. Do I really need to keep paying for iTunes Match? Does it do anything else for me? Thanks for your podcast and all that you do for your fellow Apple and iOS geeks. Hopefully by the time this email airs, you'll be comfortably settled in your new Nashville home. Thanks. Take care. Dave in Springfield, Illinois. Well, Dave, almost there on the house, and I'm going to throw your question out to the audience. If anyone can help Dave on this, because this is one area where I did not use the Apple Podcast or Apple Music Match or whatever it was called, iTunes Match. So if anyone did use it, if you know of a reason to still use it, I thought it would have been canceled. But if anyone knows of any reason to even keep that going, let us know. 206-666-6364, 206-MOONDOG. Hi, Rob. I want to upgrade my iPad 2. It has iOS 9.3.5. Can it upgrade to iOS 12? Regards, Arnold LF. Let's go with that. Nope. iPad 2 cannot be upgraded past iOS 9.x. iOS 10 and later are not supported. Sorry for that. Devices with the A5 processor were not supported with the iOS 10 or later updates. That also includes iPhone 4S, iPad mini 1st Gen, and the 5th Gen iPod Touch that will not run iOS 10 or newer versions of iOS.
This is Tim from Spatial, Georgia. Just want to tell you about a little thing that happened to me here recently. About a month ago, my daughter an iPhone 6 Plus to take to school to use while she's at school. And we went to the AT&T store here in Georgia to get that activated for her. And incidentally, me and my wife also have 6S and the 6S Plus. And the woman that was helping us at the AT&T store told us that in January, none of those phones would work for anything besides basic calling and texting. So that, and kind of talked us into upgrading basically all three to iPhone 11s. And we went ahead and did that. It was a good trade-in deal and everything like that. But we were a little skeptical about it, and I got home and I started doing some research, and I saw where the 6Ss were still slated for iOS 14 support, and we were a little upset about it because it sounded like we had been duped, scammed into buying a new phone when we weren't really there to buy a new phone. So I actually called Apple support and spoke to a live person and told her what had happened and what we were told, and she told me what they told you was correct. Those phones will not work for app support on cellular after January. I was surprised to hear this, and Apple support confirmed it. So the 6S, 6S Plus, they said something is changing with the protocols for, I guess, AT&T, she said. She goes, it's not really an Apple thing. It's a carrier issue. So I'd never heard that anywhere else, so I wanted to pass that on to you. I didn't know if you know anything else about it. But I want the rest of the TII listeners to be aware of this if they have an older phone, because I do believe that the lady at AT&T also included the 7s and 8s on that. But, of course, I didn't have one, so I wasn't really focusing on that part. But anyway, I didn't know if you knew anything about it. But if not, that's what I found out about a month ago. Anyway, have a good day. Love the show. Appreciate it. Thanks, Rob, for everything you do.
Hi, Tim. I did some research on this and found out that in July, AT&T sent out emails to some customers that read as follows, quote, "We will soon be upgrading our network to use the latest technologies. These updates are to serve you better and bring faster speeds and greater reliability. But your device," and then info on the device, "is not compatible with the new network and you need to replace it to continue receiving service. Our team is here to help you find a compatible device that fits your needs. We want to help you transition as seamlessly as possible and ensure your service is not interrupted," unquote. Which at first seems like a nice email and they're there to help you. Again, seems like that. Does not mean is like that. Here is a follow-up comment from AT&T per that email that they had sent in July. AT&T now says, quote, "This email was one of many planned to keep customers informed about the shutdown of our 3G network in early 2022. It should have included that date that certain devices would no longer be supported. We apologize for any confusion this may have caused and will be more clear in future updates," unquote. Yeah. So that original email left out the 2022 part. Just a minor oversight. And instead said soon upgrading. But let's be realistic. In the life of iPhones, 2022 is not soon, not in July of 2020. That is a whole upgrade cycle or two for many iPhone users. Here is my recommendation. Don't update because of this if you are happy with your phone's current performance. Tim, for you, it's a little too late. But others, if AT&T emails you saying you need to update and you are okay with how your iPhone is working and the speed and all, don't upgrade. Just wait until, 2022, when AT&T makes a change to new to your phone. You can then either at that time upgrade to the latest iPhone, or you can take your iPhone and go play somewhere else, somewhere that does support it, like maybe T-Mobile. But Tim, for them to push you now on this, that is, BS. And sounds like someone needed to hit their sales quota for the month. For Apple to also not let you know that AT&T is not updating until 2022 was a big mistake on their part. Sorry you went through this. You might want to file a complaint with the Better Business Bureau or at least with the manager of the AT&T store. Back to the email bag. Hi Rob, I just listened to episode 48. I'm behind, I know, but I'm catching up. And had some tips, no pun intended, about the Airpods Pro. I've had mine for a few months now and love them. I never owned either of the previous two generations, so I can't compare it to them. One thing I found right away was I didn't like the silicone tips that ship with them. After digging around on Amazon, I found a set of memory foam tips that work great. They come with all three sizes, just like the originals. I put the link below. I'll have the link in the show notes for episode 499, not an affiliate link. Another trick I found, if you want to get a good deal with the fit test, is clearing the inner vent, the black strip that's near your head when wearing them. The easiest way is to put your lips against them and suck hard. I know it sounds gross. Yes, it does. But it really works. On a side note, I just found out via TII that the iPhone 11 line killed off 3D Touch. I'm really bummed about that, as I use that feature all the time. That will keep me hanging on my iPhone XS Max a bit longer. Thanks for the show, Rob. Excellent job as always. Regards, Lou V. Oh, and another email from Lou. And Lou, thank you for that. Hi, Rob. I had an interesting thought. In June 2010, iPhone OS was rebranded to iOS for version 4 since it encompassed iPhone, iPad, and now, since June 2019, iPads have been broken off into a separate category dubbed iPad OS. Wouldn't that make sense for iOS, iPhone OS to be renamed again? Thanks for the show. Regards, Lou V. So, changing iOS back to iPhone OS. Well, I think it still supports the iPod Touch. So at the time it was rebranded, it was iOS, because I was like, today in iPhone, iPad, and iPod Touch, I think was what the name of the show was for a little bit. Originally it was Today in iPhone, then it was Today in iPad, iPhone, da-da-da. And then when they said iOS, I went, changed the name of the show to Today in iOS, registered the domain literally while Steve was still on stage speaking. But yeah, I guess in some ways I could see them doing that, but I think they'll probably just stick with iOS because it's shorter rather than going iPhone OS. Again, Lou, thank you for your emails. Folks, if you have any feedback that you'd like to share with the audience, give us a call, 206-666-6364. That's 206-Moondog. Or email to me, like Lou did, to todayinios@gmail.com. And now is when we get into the Apple September event part of the show. Apple did send out an invite to this virtual event that, let's just say, was, well, dropping hints. It said, quote, "Time flies. Please join us for a special Apple event at Apple Park. Watch it online at apple.com, September 15th, 2020, 10 a.m. PDT," unquote. Time flies was all in caps. Yeah. So Apple Watch, be very shocked if we don't talk about Apple Watch here in the next few minutes. Very, very shocked because they have time flies and watch it online. So Apple Watch for sure is going to be in this. What else comes? Rumors are iPad, but not the iPhone, although that is a kind of 50-50. Some people think we're going to talk about a new iPhone. Some people say, nope, it's going to be Apple Watch. It's going to be iPads and maybe something about Apple TV and some new TV shows and maybe Apple Arcade and some new games. So without further ado, let's get into the September 15th, today's Apple event. And to start with, we go into a little video where you're going down some tunnels, or is it rabbit holes? And then you come out of it, and then we're in video where we're running through the Apple Spaceship campus, leading us to Tim Cook. And Tim starts out saying, going to focus on two products, Apple Watch and iPad. So he gets that right out of the way. Then Tim goes into doing the yada yada on all the great things and uses for the Apple Watch. Yes, we know. We love it too, Tim. Now, get to the good stuff. The new Apple Watch, or watches. At 12:05, so this starts at 12 p.m. Central Time. At 12:05, video featuring people talking about their Apple Watch and how it changed their lives. 12:07, we're back to Tim Cook and more yada yada about the Apple Watch. And then off to Jeff Williams to go over new Apple Watch features from watchOS 7, including the hand wash monitoring, all the stuff we knew from WWDC. And then to the new Apple Watch, the Series 6. Most colorful Apple Watch, they've added blue aluminum, product red aluminum, gold stainless steel, and gray-black stainless steel that they're calling graphite. Now you can measure blood oxygen in your blood via the Apple Watch, but not via the blood through your skin. Just 15 seconds to measure your blood oxygen level, and you can measure the O2 while you sleep. I'm going to imagine that has a sleep apnea application to it, plus measuring your blood oxygen level for COVID-19. And then there's other reasons they mentioned asthma and some other things for blood oxygen. But for me personally, sleep apnea, I'm hoping that can give some help in monitoring on that. And then, of course, for everyone, COVID-19. It uses the S6 silicone inside the Apple Watch. Better always-on display, plus always-on altimeter. And then other features for the Series 6, it has a U1 ultra-wideband chip. The always-on display is now 2.5 times brighter outside when you're outside the always-on Retina display. It is swim-proof, continuing that on from past series. And new watch faces. And no, Memoji watch face? Really? Oh, okay. Well, there are watch faces for surfing, photography, and healthcare providers. There's a new Solo Loop band, which has no clasp, and a new braided Solo Loop, also with no clasp. There's different versions and sizes that you can get to fit just you, so you don't have to worry about it unclasping, falling off. So this is nice if you work out. I could see the loop band if you get the right size loop band. And they have multiple sizes. Again, you check one, it stretches and you put it on. That would be nice. They introduced a new family setup. This allows you to set up Apple Watches for family members that might not have an iPhone to pair with. You would pair it with your iPhone for others. So for your kids, for older family members. And if it's cellular, they get their own phone number and account, and it's available right away, this feature for the family setup in these countries: China and the mainland, France, Germany, Hong Kong, Japan, Poland, Spain, Switzerland, Taiwan, Thailand, the UK, and the US. And at these carriers, AU, AIS, AT&T, C-Spire, China Telecom, China Unicom, Changhua Telecom, 1010, DTAC, EE, Sunrise, Taiwan Mobile, T-Mobile, TrueMove, TruePhone, and Verizon. Next up was another new Apple Watch, and this is the Apple Watch SE, the lower cost Apple Watch. It uses the S5 chip, so one generation behind on the chip. It includes a cellular model, the same motion sensors, so all the same motion sensors as the Series 6, which includes the new always-on altimeter, plus all the motion sensors from Series 5. It's 2 times faster than the Series 3, works with family setup, sleep tracking, swim-proof, larger display of the Series 4 and Series 5. So it has that larger display that we see in the Series 4 and the 5. That's the 40 and the 45 millimeter. And Apple is now selling 3 main versions of Apple Watches. So they continued with the Series 3. So you have the Series 6, the new Series 6, the new SE Apple Watches, plus the older Series 3. Pricing for the Series 6 starts at $399 for the Wi-Fi only version, available starting this Friday, September 18th. If you want 44 millimeter version with cellular, you're looking at $529 for the aluminum version. For aluminum, you have all the color choices now of silver, gold, space gray, blue, and product red. For stainless steel, you have color choices of silver, gold, and graphite, with price being $749 for the 44 millimeter version, which they only offer cellular for the stainless steel versions. Pricing for the SE starts at $279 for Wi-Fi only version. If you want cellular and 44 millimeter, that bumps the price up to $359. The SE is also available this Friday. So yes, the SE is really a better value when you start moving up in it, in that going from the entry level, the 40 millimeter GPS, to the 44 millimeter cellular is an increase of $80. That same change on the Series 6, and you have an increase of $130. So Apple has a $50 luxury tax on the Series 6. And the Series 3 continues at the $199 price level for the 38 millimeter, $229 for the 42 millimeter. Both are GPS only. There's no cellular version of the Series 3. There is also the updated Hermes Series 6, but yeah, the prices is crazy stupid, and we're not going to go over it on the show. At 12:24 p.m. Central Time, Apple switched over to talk about eco-friendly messaging, and that Apple by 2030 would be 100% carbon neutral across their whole supply chain and production and sourcing of materials and everything else. So kudos, Apple. At 12:27, back to the Apple Watch and video on where Apple Watch is. Then in on the Workout app. And they introduced a new service, Apple Fitness Plus. Workouts built around the Apple Watch. There are new workouts added each week. Connects to your iOS device during a workout. Info goes right to your screen on your iOS device. So if you're watching the video of the workout and what you should be doing, you'll see the metrics from your Apple Watch right there up on the screen. At the end of the workout, you get a nice summary of the workout. Launching with yoga, cycling, dance, treadmill, running, rowing, and core, with best music in a wide variety of music types available. The Fitness app on the iPhone, iPad, and Apple TV support Fitness Plus or Apple Fitness Plus. And the price for all of this is the low price of $9.99 a month or $79.99 per year, and that covers families. It will be available before the end of the year, and it'll be free for 3 months if you buy a new Apple Watch. Initially, it will launch in these countries: Australia, Canada, Ireland, New Zealand, UK, and the US. So obviously an English focus there. At 12:37 p.m. Central Time, we move on to the introduction of Apple One, Apple's new bundling subscription of their services, which includes iCloud, Apple Music, Apple Arcade, Apple TV Plus, Apple News Plus, and Apple Fitness Plus. The bundles are as such: iCloud with 50 gig of storage, Apple Music, Apple Arcade, and Apple TV Plus. That's the intro plan, and that is for $14.95 a month. Go to the family plan on that to share all these services, and that bumps up storage to 200 gigabytes and your price to $19.95 a month. And then countries where available, there is Apple One Premier for $29.95 a month, and you get iCloud with 2 gig of storage, Apple Music, Apple Arcade, Apple TV Plus, Apple News Plus, and Apple Fitness Plus. So all of the Apple subscription services for $29.95 a month. If you purchased all the Premier offerings with Family Plan, it would be $54.94. So it's a savings of $24.99 for bundling them all together. Apple One available this fall with 30 days free subscription. So we'll see how that goes. We'll be talking about that more on future episodes of the show. And if you plan to get the whole Premier offering, let me know. 206-666-6364. That's 206-Moondog, or shoot an email to todayinios@gmail.com. Interested to hear if you're excited about Apple One, if you're going to sign up for the full suite of services. At 12:39 p.m. Central Time, Tim is back with the iPad. And some traditional yada yada, over 10 years since the first iPad launched. They've sold over 500 million iPads. 53% of new iPad purchases, I'm assuming in the last quarter, are new customers to the iPad. Earlier this year, iPad Pros were updated, and today, he said the rest of the iPads would be updated. Well, kind of, sort of. We'll get to that in a few minutes. First up is the new 8th generation iPad, and it is sporting an A12 Bionic chip. It's 40% faster than last year's chip, 2 times faster than the top-selling PC laptop, and 6 times faster than the top-selling Chromebook. It has a 10.2-inch Retina display, works with full-size keyboards, works with the Apple Pencil, still with Touch ID for the home button on the front of the screen, Lightning port, and smart connector. So really nothing changed as far as the physical look and the buttons from the 7th gen to the 8th gen. Pricing starts at $299 for education, $399 for the rest of us intro pricing. Colors available are space gray, silver, and gold. Storage is either 32, not close to enough gigabytes, or 128, barely enough gigabytes. And you can choose between Wi-Fi only or Wi-Fi plus cellular. Maxed out with cellular and 128 gig, you are looking at a price of $559. Pre-order today, available this Friday, the 18th. At 12:46 p.m. Central Time, iPad Air, all new designed, was introduced. And it looks closer in design to the iPad Pro and similar to rumors of what the iPhone 12 are supposed to look like, kind of more of a flattish edges. Again, if you know what the iPad Pro looks like, you know what the iPad Air looks like. 10.9-inch screen. Next-gen Touch ID is in the top power button. Be careful which case you get for this. You don't want to cover up your power button. So at the top of the screen, the power button has Touch ID built into it. New chip inside is the A14 Bionic. So that's the big news there. It's a 5-nanometer chip versus a 7-nanometer in the A13. It has a 6-core CPU design, 4-core GPU, 16-core neural engine. They brought in devs to talk about what can be done with the iPad Air. You know, the normal pony dance, pony dog and pony show, I guess you call it, for developers. And first up was Epic Games. Oh, wait, never mind. Sorry. I guess they weren't available or maybe not invited. Anyway, the other devs came out and said, oh, you can do all these kind of great things. It's the yada yada of the devs. Let's get back to the specs. And yes, the iPad Air is now USB-C for the connection. So another Apple device moves over to USB-C. Front cameras and back cameras, well, of course. And the front camera is a 7-megapixel FaceTime HD camera that can capture 1080p video at 60 frames per second. But on the back, it's the same camera on the back as the iPad Pro. It's a 12-megapixel, which can shoot 4K video at 60 frames per second or 1080p at 240 frames per second. And no, folks, you don't look silly recording video with your iPads. That was sarcasm. Stereo audio in landscape mode works with the Magic Keyboard and Apple Pencil. It has Wi-Fi 6, 10-hour battery life, magnetic connector, and it starts at $599, available in October. Comes with 5 colors: rose gold, green, sky blue, white, and black. Storage available is either 64, still not close enough, gigabytes, or 256, just enough gigabytes. And you can get Wi-Fi only or Wi-Fi plus cellular. Maxed out, the cellular version with 256 gigabytes will run you $879. So from $599 to $879 is your price range. iPad mini is still available, but nothing about updates for it. So Tim was not correct when he said the rest of the iPads would be updated. But Tim did give this ending present: iOS 14, iPad OS 14, TV OS 14, Watch OS 7 will all be released tomorrow, Wednesday, September 16th. Do not release downs. Do not release downs. As I said earlier, best to wait until iOS 14.0.1, you need a double dot update, is released, or wait a week to avoid the slow servers. For all of those that do not listen to me, which you guys love to brag that you didn't, for all of those that are going to email me and say, I didn't listen and I updated, better than emailing me and saying you didn't update, call and tell me your thoughts. 206-666-6364. That's 206 Moondog. Or record it on your voice app and email to me at todayinios@gmail.com. Again, I do not recommend updating at this point. I recommend holding off, but if you are someone that's not going to listen, you are going to update, or you were already running the betas and everything else, give us your feedback. Tell us what you like about iOS 14. At least share something. Don't just share an email saying you didn't listen. So again, give us a call or shoot us an email. Give us your thoughts on iOS 14, iPad OS 14, Watch OS 7, or TV OS 14. Any of them. Pick one, pick them all. Let us know your thoughts. And we'll talk about all of those on episode 500. What's the definition of WAP?
WAP means Wireless Application Protocol, a set of protocols for connecting mobile phones and other radio devices to the internet.
Ha! I knew it. Cardi B is an IT geek. Because at my house, we got our WAP going on. I have so much WAP going on, it's almost overflowing. And you folks listening with all your Apple products and Eero routers, you have WAP going on. But maybe someone needs to get Ben Shapiro an Eero router, as I heard him say that his wife does not have WAP. So clearly something's wrong with her Wi-Fi. Thanks, Siri, for that one, because I was really clueless on what WAP meant and wireless access protocol. Of course, it makes so much more sense now. Today's show was again brought to you by Eero, which is by far the fastest and best Wi-Fi I have ever tested. Go to eero.com/TII and enter promo code TII at checkout to get free overnight shipping with your order. And before we go today, I want to remind you once more, please send in your feedback to the show, 206-666-6364. That's 206 Moondog, or record your feedback and email to the show at todayinios@gmail.com. Feedback can be a question or comment per something someone said on this episode, or it can be a question or rant about something else, an app or product review, good or bad. As long as it's iOS related, it is welcomed. And I'm always looking for new artwork to feature on the show that you've created on an iOS device. Just put some TII branding on it and send it in. And of course, we're always looking for more music created on an iOS device to play on the show. Please send in your music, please, please. This is your show, and your feedback is greatly desired. Also, don't forget to check out our moderated MeWe community by going to todayinios.com/community. When you go there, you need to request to be added. I have 2 questions. First one seems to quickly weed out the Android fanboys. I ask which is the better, OS, iOS, or Android. Pick iOS. Anything other than that, you get the boot. And also, the other one is, what does TII stand for? Today in iOS. So yeah, it's a nice Android fanboy free zone where you can ask questions, post articles, and pretty much talk about anything Apple related and not worry about being prosecuted for doing so. Quick reminder, if you are an app developer or an iBook author, email me if you want your app or iBook featured in the promo giveaway segment for free. Just need the 5 promo codes or more to give away. Simply email me at todayinios@gmail.com and please include a 60 seconds or less audio review of your app or iBook indicating you are the dev or the author. Also, when you send in the promo codes, please make sure to let me know when they expire. And finally, check out the TII app, which is free to you. Search for TII in the iTunes App Store. It is the best way to consume the show and to get push notifications each time a new episode of TII is released. It is fully voiceover friendly, of course. And please go right now and download the Tii App and get the update. Until the next time, I'm your host, Rob, reminding you to social distance responsibly. This show is hosted on Libsyn.com and part of the Libsyn Media Network. If you are looking for podcast hosting, go to Libsyn.com. That is Libsyn.com for hosting for your podcast and creation of your own smartphone app. The Today in iOS podcast can be found everywhere you listen to podcasts. That includes Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Pandora, Overcast, Stitcher, and everywhere else you listen to audio.